Hi, I'm Lindsey.
And I'm Connor.
And this is Boyfriend Doesn't Know Anything, but by the end, he will. That's the boyfriend.
I'm the boyfriend. And I'm glad that you're explaining stuff today because I am not able to speak very much. Why
don't you tell the people very briefly what you've been experiencing the last couple days?
I'll try and keep it as brief. I have missing teeth in my mouth, and I'm currently, I recently on Monday had my face reconstructed, and which involved a lot of
hammering,
a lot of shaving, a lot of cutting, and a lot of sewing. And hopefully by the end of this whole process, I'll have some more teeth in my face. But
it's exciting.
For the time being, I'm now missing teeth and I've got a fat lip and my face is really swollen.
Yeah, so it's a good opportunity for me to explain things to you.
Exactly. This is the perfect opportunity because I'm on 800 milligrams of ibuprofen and I can't talk very well.
Well, do you have any idea what we will be discussing today?
I have absolutely no clue.
I'm so excited. This is actually a topic that I picked out of the topic suggestion box that we always keep down in the description.
Oh, okay.
So this is proof. I am listening to you. Thank you very much for this suggestion. This was a great suggestion.
Great.
Today, we will be discussing Cait Corrain.
Cait Corrain.
Yes. When authors burn their own books.
What do you mean?
I really want intro music. It's expensive.
It's expensive.
Cait Corrain, when authors destroy themselves. Okay, Connor, you have spent a good portion of your career as a creative person.
I have, yeah.
Surrounded by other creative persons.
Yes, that's correct.
How would you describe the personality of the quintessential writer?
For me, at least, writers are usually pretty alone. Usually very solitary, very solitary people, I would say. Usually very quiet, usually very introspective. Most of them drink. That's a common thing amongst writers.
They do, which I didn't used to understand, but every year that I'm alive, I'm like, yeah, I see it. I would also like to be drunk most of the time. I think that might be more fun.
Yeah. And they like using big words. That's also a big thing.
That is fair. That is fair. Writing is, like so many creative endeavors, terribly embarrassing.
Yes.
Until it's not. There can be pressure to explain ourselves, validate ourselves, prove to our cousin, to our professor, to that bitch we hate. No, I am actually super good at this. And from the other side, well, it can seem pretty pretentious to write a book and attend residencies and own a framed photograph of Ernest Hemingway that hangs over your desk right above the incense and the unsmoked American spirits until you have a bestseller. And then suddenly it's the greatest thing that anyone in this teeny tiny town has ever done.
Right.
You and I experienced this to a very tiny degree with this podcast, actually.
We did, yeah. I know. We did the podcast for about 7 months where we had less than 100 subscribers.
It was my mom and your dad against the world out there.
Shout out if you were part of that original 100. Chime in. And then one day we suddenly had over 1,000 and that was a big deal for us.
Yeah. And it was when we were starting out and we had pretty much 0 subscribers. We would tell friends about, oh yeah, we started this podcast. It's about this and that. And they'd be like, that's cool. Like, awesome. You know, like 75 subscribers.
Right.
And we're like super proud of that number because like there's 75 people that we don't know. And that's a lot of people. But when you're starting out on a new creative endeavor, I think there is some sense of embarrassment.
Absolutely.
Because nobody's looking. Nobody's buying your thing yet.
I know. I watched a video recently of this woman explaining how she basically had to force herself to be delusional.
Yes.
In order to start her art career in her early 20s.
Yes.
And I was like, that's exactly what it is. In order to pursue any kind of career in art, you have to force yourself to be delusional. You
have to be a little delusional and simultaneously very reasonable.
Yes.
And the person we are discussing today is one of those things. Writers can also sometimes, with love, be completely and utterly insufferable.
That's true. You said pretentious earlier.
Yes.
And I think a lot of writers, honestly, I think writers get a bad rap for being pretentious. I think a lot of writers have taste. They have a lot of taste in the things they read. And I think you and I have talked about this. Having taste can be seen as being pretentious.
There are worse things in the world than being pretentious.
Yes.
I'm a little pretentious sometimes, but sometimes we start talking about movies and I'm like, I may as well buy a beret and like grow out my mustache. I mean, this is embarrassing how much I care about this.
I think what people think of when they think of pretentiousness, like in the negative, is people judging other people based on the things that they like.
Yeah, that's when it gets into like, okay, buddy, like take a pill.
I don't think it's a bad thing to have opinions and thoughts and preferences for art.
I should hope not. You are dating me.
Yes.
So that would be, if you did, we would have ended a long time ago.
Yeah, but to enforce You don't make me feel bad for reading fantasy novels.
Okay, that makes me very happy. I'm glad you don't feel that way.
You roll your eyes when I start explaining them a little bit because it's kind of goofy. But
I don't roll my eyes, but I do go blank.
Yeah, I think that's a better way. You just kind of like, huh?
Yeah, I'm back in calculus.
Exactly.
I'm like, who, what, where? Yeah. Slam poetry nights and abstract theater are not exactly crowd pleasers, but they are some of my favorite things in the entire world. So I love artists, I love writers, and I recognize that we are very annoying, or at least we can be. We are a dichotomous combination of desperate for privacy and hungry for praise. I told you just the other day, but it seems like we want to be recognized for a creative genius and then promptly left alone. Yeah. Like we want to be looked at but not touched. It's this very weird balance thing.
Right. It's the Sally Rooney's of the world, right?
Yeah. Like as much as I would love to say I'm a purist, I write and nobody reads it and I don't care. No, I want people to read what I write. It's meant to be read. Yeah. That's like the whole part. That's like 50% of it. 50% is actually writing the thing and the reader brings in the other 50%.
Yeah. Art requires an audience.
Yes.
Generally.
So as Marianne Cotillard once said, that's the problem with writers. You are so full of words. She is the most beautiful woman in the entire world.
Is that right?
She's the French woman in Midnight in Paris. That is the problem with writers.
Yes.
We're so full of words. Oh, God. If I were her, I'd just go sit out at a cafe and let the men come. Anyway, I preface all of this I preface this conversation with this conversation because who we are discussing today is a writer, and I want everybody to know that I am also a writer. Connor is a writer. Most of my friends, in fact, all of my friends except for maybe one guy, are writers. So I empathize with the writer's struggle very much and with the creative struggle as a whole. Yeah, that's where we're coming into this. So let's talk about Cait Corrain.
Cait Corrain. Okay.
Who is Cait Corrain? Well, according to her Instagram page, she is not here anymore.
I'm going to cut you off already. I would like it if we all agreed as a society to do away with ironic social media descriptions.
I will say this is not ironic. She is literally not there anymore.
No, where?
The Instagram page has not been touched since this story broke.
Oh, okay.
But yes, that's a very interesting conversation. If you guys want us to have a Hidden Rabbits chat about irony and how it's killing everything that we love, let us know. Because we talk about that every night.
We talk about it a lot.
Yeah.
So she's not saying not here as in
no, she's literally not present anymore. No.
Yeah.
And if you try to surf around on her website, no luck there either. The site has since been privated, and it seems to have been for quite some time. But it used to say, quote, I'm a writer and artist from Georgia. I'm currently trapped in the sunny desert of LA, same girl, with 3 birds who boss me around all day. I'm a relapsed goth who enjoys metal music, classical studies, being queer as hell, working with a bird of prey, binging podcasts and audiobooks, and embroidery. I have a BFA in sequential art from Savannah College of Art and Design, very good school, where I also minored in art history. I spent time working in film and TV before jumping out of the frying pan and into the fire by becoming a programmer. Please buy my books so I can stop doing that forever. Follow me on Goodreads. End quote.
Oh boy, that's a lot.
She has other social media links below, but Goodreads is front and center, symbolic of what was soon to pass. Now, we don't know much more about Cait, what film or TV work she did, how she connected with her agent, what their top 4 films are. I mean, this is all information that I want. All I can confirm is that she was a soon-to-be debut author. She was repped by Rebecca Podos, who was a real person and literary agent. And she had a 2-book deal with Del Rey Books, which is a subdivision of Penguin Random House.
Yeah, Del Rey's a massive publisher.
For a debut novel?
That's crazy.
I know. This is why I was curious. This is like the part of the story that everybody always jumps over, like in creative people. It's like, oh yeah, Chris Nolan was an English student at this school, and then he was a cameraman, and then he was Chris Nolan. And you're like, this part in the middle is the interesting part.
Right.
Like, how did he get from student to cameraman and from cameraman to Chris Nolan? Like, what are you talking about? That's the part I want to know. So like, I can't confirm like what TV did she work on? What film did she work on? Nothing comes up when you Google her name and you look at like the IMDb page, but that doesn't necessarily mean anything. My IMDb page has maybe a third of the things I've actually worked on.
I know that's the thing. Like IMDb is a good resource for a lot of things, but
yeah,
same. My IMDb is missing about half the shows I've worked on in my career.
But my instinct says, okay, they're a writer. They live here in LA and they've been working in film and TV. They probably have a connection. And that's how they got repped. by this like reputable literary agent who is real and lives in Boston and how they got to deal with Del Rey books. But I can't confirm or deny. I don't know.
That's crazy.
But Del Rey does specialize in science fiction, fantasy, horror, and fantasy romance. So that might help explain it because that is exactly what Cait Corrain wrote.
Okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Yeah, Del Rey is a big player in the fantasy game. I've read a couple books published by them that are very, very good.
It's funny when I saw that publisher name pop up, I was like, that sounds familiar, and that's for a reason.
Yeah.
Penguin freaking Random House,
I
everybody,
know.
unbelievable. So Cait Corrain's book was titled Crown of Starlight, which I really like that name. But that's a nice title.
Okay, that's very fantasy.
It's very fantasy,
very romantic-y.
Yeah, Rose of Courts. Yeah, the Smoky Sword. I could do this forever, and it is a science fiction fantasy. So I can't absorb any additional information. I tried reading that synopsis. I don't know what's going on.
That's interesting. Those two are historically very hard to blend
Really?
into a novel. Yeah.
I bet sci-fi and fantasy, like they have their own rules in their own genre. Oh boy, I could never. One of my goals for 2026 is to read a fantasy something, novella, short story collection, something that is delightful and gorgeous. But I can't ignore the genre for the rest of my life. But there's just usually too much happening.
There's a lot going on.
Like,
I know it's funny when you talk about your screenplays and we talk about books, world building is a word that gets brought up.
Yes.
Across all writing, world building is a facet of.
It's one of the fun parts.
It's very fun. It's a very big part, so big of fantasy, in fact, that world building has kind of got its own subdivision of a community where people talk about the world that they're building on their own. Right, because you have it for novels and you have it for like Dungeons and Dragons campaigns. People just do world building for fun and they don't even really write books about it, right? But for world building for like traditional fiction novels, it's a lot more of a, I would say, minute thing. It's like very fine tuning the world.
Yeah.
Right?
What do you need to know?
Exactly.
What are the rules and how are they going to be broken? And what are the consequences for those rules being broken? That's really good world building.
Right. Which is funny because that's pretty much how good fantasy world building is done.
Yes.
But I think a lot of people get distracted with world building.
They do.
Because they want to talk about the government and they want to talk about how the planet was formed.
And this other really cool thing. And then, wouldn't it be cool if, that's the worst thing you can say when you're editing something, by the way, is, wouldn't it be cool if, no, that's for first draft. For first draft, you can say that to yourself a million times, but by the time second, third draft, you got to start cutting out the cool stuff.
Exactly.
Okay, you got to cut some of that cool stuff. It's too big.
Yeah.
We talked about this a little bit with the Age of Scorpius video, but some authors get so wrapped up in the world building that they forget to write a good book. It's like world building is like its own hobby, I think.
Exactly.
And I see the appeal. World building is super fun. Building a map. Oh yeah.
It's great.
Oh yeah.
World building truly is a tool. Just like anything else.
Yeah. But people treat it like it's the whole thing.
Exactly.
Yeah. But was that Cait Corrain's thing? I don't think so. Like, I think there was like plenty of world building and there was a plot and I tried to read it, but I don't understand. But here's a blurb from Google Books.
Okay.
Quote, Greek mythology takes to the stars in this steamy sci-fi reimagining of the tale of Ariadne and Dionysus, the first book in a snarky, queer, lushly romantic duology set in a galaxy of monstrous mortals, bloodthirsty gods, and love fierce enough to shatter the cosmos. End quote.
Interesting. That's got a couple of key features that I think publishers like.
It really does. Once again, Age of Scorpius, anybody? Is reeling anything in? I studied Greek myth, language, and theater practices in college. This is something I don't think I've talked about on the pod before, but I was in London and that's what I studied. I studied Greek myth and language and we translated some ancient Greek text and we did performances.
I didn't know that.
Yes, this was a big part of my life. I wore a turtleneck and everything. I smoked. It was a whole thing.
Yeah.
Retellings of Greek myth have exploded in popularity over the last couple of years, and so many of them skew queer.
Is that right?
Yeah. Do you remember that book that was flying around BookTube and Book Talk? It was The Song of Achilles.
Yes, I remember the cover very clearly.
Yes,
Yeah.
queer retelling of the story of
Oh, interesting.
Yes.
I didn't know it was
of
queer.
Achilles.
That's great.
Yeah. And then same thing with Circe, which that's a book I haven't read, but I think that's another reimagining, like kind of taking in like the modern ethos and putting it into Greek myth, which I think is an easy thing to do because one, you don't have to pay anybody for using Greek myth.
Nope.
That has been public for a long time.
Yeah.
And two, I love Greek myth. I mean, I wouldn't have studied it so intensely if I didn't absolutely love it. I performed in the ancient Greek plays. I'm a huge fan. I love the language. The Greek language, ancient and modern, is like what I think humans are meant to sound like. It's the words they just come out of you. It's gorgeous. So I see the appeal.
Absolutely. And I think the thing is, Greek myth is interesting because everybody kind of knows a little bit about it, right?
Yes.
There's a massive built-in audience to where world building is a good example. The world is already kind of built.
Yes.
There's kind of a prehistory that people come into a book about Greek myth already kind of knowing, right? It's kind of like why Christianity gets used in a lot of books.
I was just thinking that, yeah.
Right, because everybody has a frame of reference for what Jesus is.
Yeah, even if you're not religious, you know, like the story of Adam and Eve and the snake and the fruit, and these are all really useful symbols, and it makes communicating really complex ideas much easier if we have universal points of reference.
Exactly. It's like condensing a bunch of ideas into symbols. Right. That's the idea.
So instead of having to have a character come out and be like, I'm going to give a monologue for 5 minutes about desire, you can just use a fruit.
Exactly.
We all get it.
Or like Aesop's Fables, or one of the Old Testament stories, or like Shakespeare.
Exactamundo.
Right? Yeah.
Oh, but yeah, the reason I bring up that it's a Greek retelling and that like a queer Greek retelling is because I'm wondering if that is how the book got signed by such a huge distributor like Del Rey.
Sure. And with the success of Achilles, Song of Achilles, and with Circe, I imagine that is a very niche way to write.
Very.
So I imagine a publisher like Del Rey would take interest in that. There's so much built-in audience already.
Very much. And then if the writing is decent enough, an editor can come in and punch it up and you've got a bestseller on your hands. So I can see the appeal. So again, I'm like curious how she got her agent. How did Cait like get connected with these people? And I think she just had like an idea that was right on the money. It was just right on the pulse. So anyway, Cait has this agent, a juicy deal with Del Rey, and a sci-fi fantasy gay Greek extravaganza. Everyone is looking forward to getting rich. Enter Twitter. Elon Musk does not have a say in what I say, that melting alchemist experiment of a man. It's Twitter forever. I don't even use it. I'm not even on the app. I'm never calling it X. Miss me with that. Now it's June 2022, right around the time I developed type 1 diabetes.
That's right.
So I was in DKA around this time. And it's lucky for Cait Corrain because if I had been in perfect working condition, this would not have happened. Not on my watch. So, a woman named Sarah Dudley was leaving dozens of 1-star reviews on Goodreads right around this time. Now, if you are unfamiliar with Goodreads, number 1, congratulations. How are you enjoying your clear skin and clean mind? And 2, it is a website where people can track what they are reading. They can create lists, complete challenges, and leave reviews for books. Now, you do not have to verify that you've actually read the book that you're reviewing. How would that even work? It's like restaurant bombing. Like this is a huge problem. Like anytime somebody finds out that the manager of a certain restaurant is kind of a dick, everybody floods to that restaurant's page and they leave negative reviews saying the food's disgusting. They didn't even give me leftovers. I saw a rat, like you can't verify that you actually ate there before you leave a review.
Right, exactly. And it's not like Amazon where on Amazon you can't actually review something until you buy it.
Right. But of course you don't have to buy a book to have read it.
Exactly.
You could have been gifted it. You could go to the library. So, but this is a problem that Goodreads has been aware of for a long time, like people leaving false reviews.
Yeah.
But it's a little bit like, what are they supposed to do about that?
There's really no way to fix that, unfortunately.
No, I'm all for blaming a company for sure. What are you supposed to do?
Right.
You have to turn in a book report before you can leave a review for a book.
Here's the thing. Goodreads has a lot of problems. That's not even tough. Like charting on the top 5. I would
Fix
say.
the interface. I can't even look at it before fixing that interface. It is so ugly.
Oh, it's awful.
God, we've talked about this in every video so far, I think. But yeah. Now, Sarah Dudley appears to be in a bit of a reading slump because she is reading every single gosh darn up and coming fantasy novel, and none of them are striking her fancy.
Oh,
that's interesting. 1 star after 1 star after 1 star. Pretty rough. That's looking like my year in books, honestly. My year in books was not my favorite. I had a rough year for movies and books this year. This continues into April 2023. So this is happening for about a year.
Oh, wow.
Okay.
And how many books are we talking? Is it like 1 a month, 2 a week?
Oh, man. So many. I'll show you the screenshots.
Okay.
It is every single up-and-coming fantasy sci-fi book, especially if they have anything to do with Greek mythology.
Oh, interesting.
Interesting.
Okay.
Interesting. So in April 2023, a few other Goodreads accounts pop up, and they too start leaving a host of negative reviews on some of the same books and on more books. So it's shotgun fire over here. Okay, so these reviewers, they all have something in common. They're like review bombing these other sci-fi fantasy up and coming debut books, but they're leaving a 5-star review for one book in particular. Can you guess what book that is?
I'm going to guess it's the upcoming debut novel of, what was her name?
Cait Corrain.
Cait Corrain.
Crown of Starlight.
Crown of
so
Starlight.
It's 1 star, 1 star, 1 star, 1 star. Crown of Starlight, 5 stars across the board. Every single account is doing the same thing. Interesting.
Which, just to stop for a second, it's a big deal for new books to get reviews. That's a massive deal.
Very much, especially considering that these books, most of them have not been released yet.
Right.
Crown of Starlight at this point had not been released. It was up and coming. So the only people who could be leaving these reviews are beta readers.
Right. Or people with like advanced reader copies.
Right.
Like that kind of thing.
Right.
You know, and it makes a big difference, I imagine, to upcoming books like debut novelists to have positive reviews on a book. I mean,
huge deal. Very important.
I don't think anybody would read a book under 3 stars, unfortunately. Right?
It's funny. I'm seeing some discourse about that. Like a lot of people are like, I don't care what a rating for a book is. Like if it sounds interesting to me, I'll pick it up and read it.
Sure.
And I feel similarly, but if I do pull a book up on Goodreads and it has like a bunch of 1-star reviews, I might be like,
yeah,
it doesn't. I like the premise and the cover, and this author's written good things before, but maybe they just missed with this one. There's so many books in the world that I want to read. I don't want to waste time and money on a book that is not going to be worth my time.
Exactly. I would say that a book or art in general, a book, a movie, anything, people I think are subconsciously looking for a reason not to read it or not to watch it.
I think you're right. Yeah.
You know, not because they don't want to, but because it's like, I want to make sure I'm getting the most for what my attention is giving me.
Yes.
Right. So that sucks that they're doing that.
Yeah. So to get a sense of how cruel some of these reviews were, let's read one.
Geez, they were actually writing reviews. They weren't just leaving stars and
oh no.
Oh Jesus.
They were leaving brutal comments. Okay. This is one. I can't believe Del Rey spent $500,000 on this when they could have spent $500,000 on anything else. Sorry, not sorry. End quote.
Wow.
Now, what this reviewer, Brett Spinner, is referring to is Molly X. Chang's book, To Gaze Upon Wicked Gods. Chang is a fellow Del Rey author who, I'm guessing, received a bigger advance than someone else who's working with Del Rey.
Wow.
If I had to guess. Now, because authors are tenacious and detail-oriented and occasionally obsessed with justice, hello, guilty, this did not go unnoticed. A detective was on the case. Enter Sharon J. Zhao.
What a name.
This is a hard name for my Texas mouth to pronounce. I'm going to do my best.
That's okay.
So Sharon is a Chinese-Canadian author who wrote a book called Iron Widow, and that might be sending some flags up in y'all's mind because this was a book that was on the New York Times bestseller list.
That's right.
And was lauded by critics and regular people.
The normies.
The audience, yeah. Everybody loved this book. So in 2024, they were gearing up to release the sequel to Iron Widow.
Okay.
So that's why they're so active on their Goodreads account. They're checking in with the audience. They're like getting ARC copies set up. Like this is crunch time for authors and it's very stressful and I don't envy anybody who's in that position. And this is probably how and why they noticed that their own books were receiving a lot of hate while Cait Corrain's book was receiving a lot of love.
That's the thing. Like, I assume you're going to go into this, but there's a big problem with if this is Cait's plan, which is like, people can verify. It's so easy to just see what's going on and to check patterns. Like Goodreads is a user-focused website and authors are on those websites. Like,
yes.
They have specific author profiles. They can see what people are saying about their book. Like,
I know. And here's the thing. I think that's an issue that Goodreads needs to fix too. Goodreads is for readers. They are not for authors. I know, and I'm being such a hypocrite because if I released a book, you know I would be on Goodreads every single minute of my life.
Yeah.
It's not good for you. You can't. Your job is to write the book and then release it and let people do what they need to do with it. You cannot read every single review that comes in because then you're going to have to believe every single one that comes in.
I know.
It's too slippery. Just let the readers... It's for readers. It's for readers to decide, oh yeah, this sounds like something that's up my alley, or oh, maybe I'll miss this one. Like, let people do that and don't involve yourself. But Sharon, I understand why you did it. I'm not judging you too hard for it. Now, Sharon J. Zhao noticed that one group in particular was hit really hard by this barrage of negative comments. It was the 2024 debuts. I'm getting so mad. If I was in this position, I would. I need to buy a gun. Like I need to be a gun owner. So Zhao starts talking to the other bombed authors. Now, this is another thing to note is like if you're not super familiar with the BookTok or BookTube space, if you're a debut author, especially if you're queer or a woman or any oppressed group who has like been historically overlooked by the publishing industry, these people group together. They are in group chats together. They have Discord servers. They run literary magazines together. They hype each other up on Instagram. This is a tight-knit community. So Shiranje Zhao reaches out to all these authors very easily. I think they were already in a group chat together. There was a Slack channel called like, yay, we wrote a book. Like this, you can't screw over one of these people and not get exposed by all of them. No. This was so risky. Oh boy. Anyway, I'm getting ahead of myself.
That's the thing. It's like the community is so small. The artistic community is so small. Like the film industry is tiny. We've talked about this before. You can't lie about working on a movie that you haven't worked on. No.
The risk that you run of somebody who actually was on that set being in the room when you say that, the humiliation will never leave your body.
It is. And it's almost so small to a point where it's like, it can be a detriment to the scene as a whole. Because you go to a film festival and you watch a bunch of really terrible films.
I'm sorry.
You can't review them poorly because it's much like Goodreads where some people, they will see your reviews of them and you don't want to hurt anybody's feelings.
I know.
Right. So I imagine in terms of like sizes of groups, the 2024 debut authors in the fantasy and queer space, dude, has to be like that big.
It's like 6 people. Yeah,
exactly.
It's 6 people and they're best friends. They talk every day.
Right.
Like, I can't believe
and we
it.
live in the age of the internet. They don't have to send letters to each other. Like
no, there's no pigeons involved.
Right.
Yeah. So Shiranje Zhao reaches out to all of these authors and they all come to the same conclusion. It's probably Cait Corrain.
Yeah.
Because why is her book the only one receiving positive reviews and the rest of us are getting bombed?
Was she getting published in 2024?
Yes. That was when her book was going to come out.
I see. Kind of suspicious.
Very suspicious. It's a little bit like, not to get super extreme, but OJ, I know.
Simpson?
Yeah, that one, the Buffalo Bill. Yeah, that guy. It's a little bit like, who else could it be? And I know that when you're in criminal court, that's theoretically not a good argument,
right.
But I think it's a perfect argument in that case. Okay, then who did it?
Right.
Then who did?
Someone did.
You're not offering another explanation. Was it the pizza delivery man? Or was it the psycho guy that lives here? Who else could it be? It's also, not to get too personal on the pod, but it's a little bit like this woman who hit me with her car. Now, we've talked about the fact that I got hit and run. Connor has been hit and run. This is something we bonded over very early on in our relationship. We understand the unique position of being hit by a car and then abandoned.
That's why I'm missing teeth. Yeah.
That's why my feet are all fucked up, everybody. So this woman hit me with her car, fled the scene, and a witness, bless this witness, seriously, like chased that car down and got a picture of the license plate and then turned around and came back and helped me.
Uh-huh.
Good Samaritan right there. Absolutely. We got some good people up in North Hollywood looking out for each other. But yeah, the detective showed up at her door. Hey, your car was pictured at the scene of a crime, a pretty violent crime. You want to talk about that? And she was like, no, I mean, I don't even know where that is. And the car was parked in the driveway and there was like a me-shaped imprint in the windshield. And he was like, that's not your car. You didn't hit anybody or anything in that vehicle.
Which the cop said in court.
Yes, he did. He said it. He was like, yeah, there was a woman-shaped shape on that hood. It's like, she was like, well, no, I don't think it was me. And because we could only prove that it was her car and not her driving, she got away with it.
Yeah.
0 time in prison. She's out there driving right now. She drove to court that day and parked illegally and had to leave the courtroom and postpone our testimony. She also showed up. This is a little iconic. I hate to give her credit, but like a little. She showed up in a Juicy Couture suit.
Yes.
With juicy on the butt.
Uh-huh.
Bedazzled. She showed up with bedazzled butt cheeks to my fucking felony testimony hearing. Like, what? Like, who else could it be? Anyway. All right. So Shiranje Zhao is like me, and she is pushing for immediate retaliation, which, yeah. Like, oh boy.
I think I said this to you earlier this week when you drove me to my surgery and you drove me home from my surgery. And when I came down, and got in the car. I told you, I'm so glad that you didn't have to go through the surgery. I don't think you would have been able to like be awake through it. And you said, no, they would have had to put me out. I would have been flailing.
There are some situations that I and my temperament are really not suited for. One of them is going to the DMV.
Yeah.
God forbid I ever have to go back to that building. They'll escort me out in cuffs. And 2 is a surgery wide awake. That's crazy. But like, who's built for that? Like a veteran from 1709? Like, who's built for that?
I also think that this is a situation you would not handle with peace and love.
No,
I'll say.
I would text that group and I'd be like, okay, so we're going over to their house right now, right? And they'd be like, no, come on, let's handle this professionally. I'd already be at her house. I'm outside. I'm on the lawn. I'm on fire. Come put me out. So yeah, Sharon is like, we're going to do something, right? And they're like, okay. The other authors wanted to handle it privately.
Yeah.
To give Cait a chance to explain herself, maybe just quietly delete the accounts, like apologize, and so everybody could move on. That is grace I don't have in my body. I don't have it.
Shout out to those writers for not wanting to be too messy. Are you getting mad?
Not my circus.
Not your circus.
It's not my circus. It's over. It's over.
It already happened.
It already happened, and it's not my circus, and it's not my monkey. So I don't even care. Anyway, these authors go to Cait and they explain the situation, and they are apparently told to let it go.
By Cait.
Yes.
Cait tells them after being confronted with, hey, you're review bombing all of our books that we are publishing as debut authors. Stop it. And she goes, get over it.
Yeah, I don't know if this came from her directly or if this came from her agent, but they are told, just let it go. Not a big deal. Just let it go and move on.
And importantly, all these authors are at the same publisher. They're all at Del Rey.
No, they're not all at Del Rey.
They're not all at Del Rey.
No, some of them are self-publishing. They are full indie.
Oh my God, that's so worse.
I
That's
know.
So much worse.
I'm like, are you a traditionally published author with like this huge, great, beautiful book deal, and you're slamming a self-published author who's like fronting the cost themselves?
Dude.
I would not handle it. I would not handle it well.
And I'm sure it was somebody from Del Rey's legal department trying to handle it.
It could have been someone from Del Rey. I know. The only thing that we're told is that they were told to let it go.
Right.
So while Sharon J. Zhao is fuming and probably pacing in their apartment back and forth like I am, a couple of the Goodreads accounts disappear overnight. And Cait takes to Twitter, which no one in any crisis should ever do.
No.
Has that ever helped anybody? Oh, I'll just explain myself on Twitter. It'll all go away.
I personally, I love a good like downward spiral crash out on Twitter. Of like they start to try to explain what's going on, and then it just turns into a full blown crash out.
You're in for a very good time then.
Oh, this is going to be
great.
great.
News for you.
This is going to be great.
Yeah. That's why I deleted Twitter back in 2018, by the way.
You would have had a rap sheet of crash outs on Twitter.
Do you guys want to know what happened? I'll confess something right now. All right. I'll cancel myself before you guys can do it. So Ellen, remember Ellen DeGeneres?
Yes.
Of Finding Nemo. Well, she got canceled a few years ago for being god awful to work with.
Yes.
And all of this stuff came out, and a lot of people that worked with her were like, she was very particular. I had to chew gum before I went into her office. She would yell at one person a day, just one person she'd go after she decided she hated, and all this stuff came out. And it was really devastating because Ellen is a big deal.
Yeah.
Like Ellen coming out on TV in the 90s was a huge deal for a lot of people.
Yeah, she was America's favorite gay woman, like for the longest time.
She was like the only publicly gay woman
on TV.
I think for a long time.
It was a big deal.
Huge deal. And then she had her entire career wiped out, and she had to rebuild, go back to doing stand-up in clubs, and then she did rebuild, and then showed up in Disney movies and had a huge like daytime TV show. That was like one of the only TV daytime shows that I liked, aside from Judge Judy. I love Judge Judy too. But yeah, so I was really devastated when she got canceled, and there was a lot of talk on Twitter about like this just erases everything good that she's done, blah blah blah. And I tweeted out like, that's stupid. No, it doesn't. Both things can be true, which I think I still agree with.
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah, okay. She was a god-awful boss. She had her show canceled. She's out of the public eye. I think that's good. I don't think that deletes all of the great that she did in the 90s. I just don't. And not to mention, she's donated a lot of money. So Yeah, you can be awful and good at the same time.
Yeah.
People are amazing. I don't know. And that's how I feel about Ellen. But I tweeted that out, and like within 5 minutes, I was like, I don't want to deal with this. And I deleted Twitter. And I'll never be back because it's not, again, I can't handle it.
No.
If you have a bad temper, delete Twitter tonight.
The problem, I think, with Twitter is that it makes passing thoughts permanent.
Yes. Connor, that's very well put. That is exactly the problem.
Thank you, Jerry.
It's too easy.
Yes. I think because it encourages people to just, that's what it encourages is like, have a thought, tweet it.
Yes.
Or zeet it, whatever they're saying now.
Oh, God.
And the problem with that now is that it gets used as ammo against people in the future.
Yeah.
And nobody, I don't think, should be held to the highest standard of their passing thought. I also don't think we should be putting our passing thoughts on the internet forever.
Don't.
Put
that in your journal.
Yeah, exactly.
And then put that journal in your desk and lock your bedroom door.
Exactly.
That's what I would do.
Because passing thoughts are for yourself. They're not for an audience of 100,000 people.
No, and you might disagree with yourself tomorrow.
Absolutely.
Like, I don't think I would agree with the wording of my tweet from 2018. I'd be like, have some nuance, Lindsey, but I got angry on behalf of Ellen.
Right.
She really needed defense.
Yeah.
Anywho, Cait Corrain would fall right into the same trap of Twitter by tweeting, quote, "Nasty surprise of the day was learning that there were fake accounts messing with my Goodreads rating recently. If you've actually read my book and want to rate and review it, that would be great, as reader interest pre-release tells my publisher that my book is worth investing in," end quote. No mention of the authors whose work has actually been negatively impacted. No mention of the fake accounts. No accountability.
And
that is Cait Corrain's motto.
And in essence, she's saying, somebody's doing it to me, cut it out. But when the other authors approached her about the same issue, they were told, drop it.
Yeah. But this is how Cait is going to handle this pickle.
Oh.
I know. I know. She tweets again because she can't stop. "I guess this explains why my rating was fluctuating so much. If you like my book, please rate and review it. If you hated it, you're also entitled to your opinion, but making fake accounts to manipulate my book's rating is something else entirely. I'm going to go be sad now," end quote. Is this acknowledgement or an ad read?
Here's my question to you.
Ask me.
Do you think that she's getting ahead? This is like a PR thing where she's getting ahead of the potential news of her review bombing other writers. Or do you think this is like when a husband blames a wife or accuses a wife of cheating when the husband is cheating?
I think it's that.
Where she's accusing other people of doing it because she's the one doing it.
That's my instinct.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Yeah, I think this is a situation where she thinks it's still early enough on where she's like, I'm just going to stop leaving reviews and I'm going to go cold and we're just going to let this blow over.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't have to take the blame. I can be like, hey guys, please stop. And maybe that'll be enough and everything can just be done and over.
Right.
This is somebody like reaching the end of their rope, I would say.
I'll delete some of the accounts and make it look like it's a thing. And
yeah. And hopefully everybody just lets it go, which is stupid because she should have known better. Like, babe, have you ever met a writer?
Have you ever met the internet?
They're not forgiving people.
No.
Also, I kind of want to go on this tirade later, but to write a book and then to publish it and to have a date set for your book to be published and then for that book to get review bombed. There is no way to slice it where that's not deeply personal and deeply hurtful. There's just no way. I have to rant about it later, but wow. It's not just, oh, well, you left a bad review for my thing and like that kind of hurt my feelings. No, it's devastating. It's completely devastating.
Yes, absolutely.
So yes, in these tweets, she is making herself a victim when their book is the only one who received positive reviews. So this might be my number 2 pet peeve in the entire world, perpetual victimhood.
Oh,
we all know what number 1 is. Department of Transportation.
Exactly. And to self-victimize while making a victim of others at the same time, crazy work, crazy play.
And to not even mention the other authors in the tweet. Like you were the only one who benefited like you benefited from it.
Right.
Everybody else is suffering from it and you say nothing. Oh.
And you use it as an opportunity to make it a marketing point.
Yeah.
Like,
please rate and review my book. She said it in both tweets.
Mm-hmm. And she didn't mention the other authors because she didn't want them getting any press.
Well, you know who else is at the end of their rope? Sharon J. Zhao.
Oh, I bet.
So they decide to subtweet Cait Corrain. Love this move, by the way. And Sharon says, quote, if you as a debut author are going to make a bunch of fake Goodreads accounts, 1-star bombing fellow debuts you're threatened by, can you at least not make it so obvious by upvoting your own book on a bajillion different lists with those same accounts? End quote. There are a lot of wisdom nuggets we can take away from this situation, not the least of which is this. Do not fuck with Sharon J. Zhao. And do not fuck with their books.
No.
Dude. Just read them and enjoy them and do nothing else. I don't know why the perpetrator thought they could get away with considering Zhao created a whole ass YouTube channel simply to dress down that god-awful 2020 Mulan remake. That is the only reason they made their YouTube account. First sentence out of their mouth is like, I never thought I would make a YouTube video, but I hated Mulan so much I have to tell you everything that's wrong with it. Like, of all the people to mess with on the internet, I just don't know why you'd be like, yeah, I could get away with that.
That's so respectable levels of pettiness.
I dig it so much that it calls for it. Anyhow, this tweet was meant to act as a last-ditch effort to encourage Cait to fess up to what she did, take down the accounts, come forward privately and maybe apologize. But what ended up happening can only be described as a colossal volcanic explosion of fire and brimstone.
Oh boy.
Armchair experts and self-described internet detectives take to Goodreads like sharks take to whale fall, and soon enough, Cait Corrain's name is circling the zeitgeist and the drain. Everyone suspects that it's her boosting their own book status while demolishing others. It's really not a complicated equation. It's like, who could do this? Oh, It's Cait Corrain. Oh, that's the only person who could possibly be doing this.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely.
Well, who could it be? George Saunders, maybe? Now, I would be remiss to glaze over the fact that most of the authors who had their books bombed were authors of color. Now, at this point in the story, you might be thinking, listen, that could be just a coincidence. Someone got insecure and crashed out, and the people they hurt just so happened to be BIPOC. But several of these fake accounts have names that are ethnically aligned with the author. So, for example, under Molly Chang's book, the fake account is Osei Young. So it looks like a Chinese reviewer is leaving a negative review for a Chinese author, which adds this layer of legitimacy to the review.
That's so weird.
So twisted.
That's so weird.
Yeah. I think someone is trying to legitimize their fake bad review in the eyes of a potential audience. But that's just me. That's just what I think might be happening.
To focus in on someone's race that hard, and then to do that in order to form legitimacy in somebody, that means that somebody else reading the review is going to look at it and go, well, that person's Chinese and reviewing a Chinese author book checks out. It's like there's a lot of really bad math and a lot of really racist bad math going on in somebody's head for that.
And I think it's also really important to remember for later, because this is going to come up, is that this is not by accident. You don't accidentally do that. This is not something that you panic in a moment of just, like, I'm nervous about my book coming out. I don't think it's going to be good. Look at all these other books that are coming out that are doing like similar things to me. They're doing similar themes, but they have more books that are released. They got a bigger book deal. I'm just going to panic and I'm just going to make a bad account and I'm going to leave a bad review and blah. Because then the name you come up with is like John Roberts.
Right.
Like, as an American, you're probably just like, okay, well, Michael Scott. Michael Scott didn't like Molly X. Chang's book, but you didn't do that. You named your reviewer Osei Young and left a negative review.
Meanwhile, Cait Corrain's readership, who loves her book, is so multiracial.
Yeah, it's just like Evangeline. I loved this. I wish I could go back in time and enjoy the book for the first time all over again.
Right.
Like, all I'm going to say is that I think violence is important.
I understand why the story makes you so upset.
Thank you. Yeah, clench those butt cheeks is about to get way worse.
How?
And way better. So everyone is crashing out. And this is what we in the biz call a PR crash out. It's a disaster. And one of Cait's friends reaches out to Sharon J. Zhao amidst all of this turmoil and says, hey, it wasn't actually Cait who created those fake accounts and bombed you guys. It was actually another person from the Raylo fandom. Stick with me here. Connor's dad.
I
can feel you stomping away from that computer. Don't you do it. Don't stick with me. Stay with me here, people. The Reylo fandom. Reylo refers to a subset of Star Wars fans that ships Rey and Kylo Ren, who is played by Adam Driver, which I imagine is the driving force behind this fandom.
Right. They make them a couple in like fan fiction and stuff.
I have a question.
Yeah.
Do you as a man find Adam Driver attractive?
Not conventionally.
No.
He's got his face is interesting to look at. I would say he is an attractive guy, but not in the same way that like Brad Pitt is attractive. You know what I mean? Do you find Adam Driver attractive?
He's a very good looking guy.
Yeah. Yeah, I think so. But there is some unorthodox there are some unorthodox pieces to him, I think.
That's not the problem. That's not a problem. I am not so enamored with him that I feel the need to write fan fiction.
No, I wouldn't say that.
But he inspires whole groups of fan people to write fiction about him and draw pictures and write books. And I am very interested in that.
I know. I think the Adam Driver fan fiction community is bigger than the Brad Pitt fan fiction community.
Yes.
Which is hilarious.
Probably. Well, fan fiction didn't really hit our parents' generation.
No,
Adam Driver is still like in our, in our cultural moment, I would say. The Reylo fandom, again, as you might imagine, is pretty tight-knit. It's not exactly the largest community in the world, so keep that in mind. So this friend of Cait's sends Sharon a series of screenshots. These screenshots show a conversation between Cait and this Reylo fandom friend named Lily. Connor, would you please do me the honor of reading these screenshots with me?
Sure. Is that what you emailed me before the start of the show?
That's the email I sent you, yes.
Let me pull it up.
And you can choose. Do you want to be Cait or Lily?
I should probably be the person with less words.
Okay, you be Lily.
Okay.
I'll be Cait. So if yesterday's nonsense wasn't enough, today I got an email that said there were a number of ratings and reviews left on my book by illegitimate accounts, which I guess explains why my rating was fluctuating wildly up and down over the last week. Also, my car is in the shop and they don't know why the battery doesn't work, but they'll get back to me when we know anything. So I'm not really holding out hope. This week continues to spiral and I go with it.
What do you mean?
About what? A lot of things have happened.
The ratings.
I mean that people were making fake accounts to rate my book, or books in general, I guess.
So someone was rating your book low?
No, the email was fucking weird. Like, it seems like the reviews were positive, but I didn't do anything.
Rating books high is against the rules?
No, but making fake accounts to rate them high is, like if it's artificially inflating a book's reviews, that's against the rules.
Yikes emoji. Oh, I didn't realize you could get in trouble.
What?
Please don't get mad. I made a couple accounts. I think that was me.
What? Yeah. Why?
The other night, when you were worrying that your book would get overshone by bigger books at your publisher, I wanted to help. So I made a couple accounts to rate your book high. I'm sorry, I really didn't think it would be a problem.
What the fuck? Why? I don't need fake reviews to help me. Jesus Christ.
I'm sorry. I really didn't think it would hurt. I was trying to be nice.
Oh my God. I don't even know what to say. I don't need you to step in and try to be nice with this. Do you have any idea how patronizing that is? How humiliating? How much damage you could have done? I'm going to be sick. Literally going to vomit. Someone just posted this screenshot in my writing group. It's Sharon's tweet pops up.
Oh boy.
Please, for the love of God, tell me you weren't actually stupid enough to do the same accounts that you made to boost me to bomb other people. Well,
I didn't... So the TH, think anyone would notice.
I'm literally going to be sick. I need to email my agent. This could literally cost me my fucking career. I don't even know what to say. This is such a violation of my trust and out of friendship.
I'm so sorry, Cait. I'm really sorry. I didn't think it would hurt.
Jabba. How could it not hurt? Who the fuck did you go after?
I really didn't mean to hurt you. I was trying to help.
God, I can't even keep talking to you. What the fuck?
I'm so sorry.
I don't care. This was such a shitty thing to do. Is there anything else you want to tell me? Anyone else you targeted? Just for shits and giggles? Any other people you wanted to destroy in my name?
There were a couple other books that I left some reviews on to try and make it look less obvious.
Names. Who?
IDK, just some other people on the debut list that I saw getting a lot of buzz. I just wanted to help.
This is psychopath behavior.
I'm sorry. I was only trying to help.
You keep saying that. I think we're done here.
I really didn't mean it. Please forgive me.
There have been very, very few times in my life that I've felt so absolutely betrayed by anyone. When I got that email, I was perplexed. But I guess in my dumb idiot head, I thought, I've heard about all sorts of fucking weird shit on Goodreads these days. Some stranger is doing some shit. This sucks. God, maybe I'm just as stupid as you that I didn't read closely enough. But even if I had, I never in a billion years would have thought that it was someone I considered a friend. I hope you never, ever have someone fuck with everything you've worked to build because they think you're such a shallow, petty person that you need others to fail for you to succeed. You have hurt me. You have humiliated me so badly that I want to fucking kill myself. This was the absolute last thing I needed. How could you do this to me?
I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry.
Fuck off, rotten hell. Don't ever speak to me again.
Actually, no, I'm not sorry. I was just trying to help. Yeah, I messed up, but I was trying to be a good friend. It's not that big a deal. And if it is, maybe you should try being nicer. If your career is so fragile that something like this could break it, then maybe I should just keep going. You're just insecure and pathetic, and your book is terrible. I was trying to help you because I felt bad for you. You're going to regret this.
And then a little thing pops up that shows Lily has made a Google account in Cait's name somehow.
Smiley face emoji. LOL. Your move.
I mean, isn't that just so unfortunate that that happened to Cait Corrain?
Wow. That was like reading a novel in and of itself. The Betrayal. It was like a soap opera.
I know. I mean, it's like Corinthians. I have never read the Bible. That's like Judas, eating all the supper at the Last Supper or whatever.
This is like when the feds clearly set something up and then they release text messages that are clearly not written by people. They're written by feds.
Yeah.
This
is like when a 45-year-old man shows up at the high school with cop face and everybody's like, you're a cop. And he's like, no, I'm not.
Yeah.
Can I get some drugs? Everybody's like, you're literally a cop.
Right. Hello, my fellow kids.
Yeah. I'll spoil something right now. There is a little bit more to that chat, but that version is where Cait initially cropped it and sent it to this debut author group. So
interesting.
Yeah. So that was really badly written. But Cait thought it was solid enough to drop into the 2024 debut authors group chat, writing, quote, "This person wasn't my bestie. They were someone I knew from fandom who I thought was cool. I clearly have no idea who they actually are. They will be happy to know that they've succeeded in absolutely ruining my life, though," end quote. What's that delicious quote from Midnight in Paris? Oh, I remember it. "If it's bad, I'll hate it because I hate bad writing. If it's good, I'll be envious and hate it all the more. You don't want the opinion of another writer," end quote. The other authors read this very real conversation between Cait and Lily, and they lit her up on fire. She is a beacon of flame on the dark ocean. Someone else in the chat asks Cait to provide screenshots of previous conversations with this person, to prove that they knew each other before yesterday. And Cait claims that she can't because Lily has deleted everything. And she doesn't have anything to prove.
Lily deleted everything at the end of the conversation saying, you know what, I'm going to keep doing it. In fact, I'm going to make more fake accounts.
Yeah.
And so after that, she went, I'm going to delete all the old accounts.
Yeah. You know how people behave.
So Cait clearly created a Lily account and was messaging herself.
Yes.
To get these messages for screenshots.
Yes.
God.
Cait and the other authors go back and forth for a second. The authors are not buying that this is a real conversation.
Because they're smart.
Hello. Yeah. It's a whole big nothing burger of a conversation. And Cait soon flees the group chat. So,
dude, hit and leave group on that conversation is crazy.
Yeah. And if you thought the authors were pissed off, just wait until we get to the Raylo fandom. Okay. Because news of this Lily person being an evil master manipulator, time traveler, hacker girl gets back to the Raylo fans. Oh, yeah. Important thing to note on those screenshots in that very real conversation. The screenshots don't make any sense. Some of the screenshots say that the messages were sent yesterday. And then they say, oh, they were sent this morning. And then, oh, no, they were sent 3 days ago. So like Cait Corrain just doesn't know how to Photoshop.
When you look at the screenshots, the timestamps don't even add up. Lily messages her and a timestamp that says yesterday at 8:45 p.m. Cait replies today at 8:45 p.m. Lily replies yesterday at 8:46 p.m. So somehow in this conversation where Cait is talking to a real life supervillain, they have also distorted time and space and are having this conversation through a time vortex. And this is truly how you lose the time war.
But yeah, so the Reylo fans get word that Lily, someone named Lily in their midst, is being awful. So they are very quick to point out that they don't know any such Lily. In fact, a few people who are familiar with Cait's writing style from her fan fiction days come forward to point out that this text conversation sounds an awful lot like her. If it looks like a duck and smells like a duck.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, Twitter is descending into a full-blown madness. I don't even really know what's going on over there. Okay, so there's this whole side quest that I don't think we have to go down, but it's here. So one Black author named Bethany, who was bombed by Cait's fake accounts, tweeted out that there was an albino snake in the grass, which I'm from the South, you're from the South. Have you heard this saying before?
An albino snake in the grass?
Yeah.
I've never heard that saying. I assume it means it's like a snake that's really easy to see.
No, I think it just means a white person that you thought you could trust.
Oh, interesting.
You can't not trust them.
Gotcha.
It's a snake in the grass. It's it's a saying that I've heard a million times.
Yeah, I've heard snake in the grass. For sure.
I've heard this a million times. So Bethany tweets that they're like, we need to figure this out. There's an albino snake in the grass. We need to fish this out. And this girl with albinism got really upset because she missed the whole ass point of the conflict and turns this into a thing against albinism. And this is so the internet, everyone gets upset and assumes it's about them. I guarantee you, if you look up an eggnog recipe, the first comment will be, well, what if I can't eat dairy? Buddy, you got to sit this one out. Then you can't eat eggnog. Well, I'm allergic to eggs. So can I still drink this? Probably not, honey bunny.
I feel like a lot of internet forums or places where people congregate and talk, a lot of it ultimately ends up it'll be two people in a Mexican standoff. And then a third person comes in just pointing guns at them already and goes, what are we pointing guns at? Are you pointing guns at me? And then that just keeps going forever. Everybody just keeps pointing guns at each other.
Yes. It can be really hard to focus on the point. And I think, hot take, this is why everyone thinks they have ADHD. Because it's really difficult to see the forest through the trees when everybody on the internet is like, well, is this about me? Well, I don't think we're talking about me enough. Well, hang on. I'm negatively impacted by autism. And it's we're not talking about autism. We're talking about an author who review bombed a bunch of authors of color. This isn't about you.
Let's stay on track here.
Stay on track.
Let's have a fight about one thing.
This is you know how I do that juvenile diabetes walk every August? This would be if I'm in the middle of doing that and somebody pulled me over and was just well, what, you don't care about Alzheimer's? I do. I'm walking for diabetes right now.
Right. Today it's about this.
God. Yeah, so that's just this whole meltdown on Twitter is happening. So just imagine awful Twitter being awful.
Mm-hmm.
This whole subplot really pisses Sharon off. So then he takes to Twitter again and drops a 40-page Google document.
Oh my God.
Which contains all the screenshots, the phony conversation, the group chat misfirings, the whole enchilada. Shortly after that, on December 11th, 2023, Cait Corrain tweeted out a sincere apology in which she admits to creating the fake accounts and penning that really stupid text conversation.
She admitted to it.
Yeah, this is what she says.
Oh boy.
Quote, since June 2022, I've been fighting a losing battle against depression, alcoholism, and substance abuse. End quote. I actually don't need any more information than that. The apology goes on for 3 more pages. That first sentence tells me everything I need to know.
Yeah.
She does not take accountability for doing what she did.
Whenever anybody prefaces an apology with an excuse, what they're saying is, I'm sorry, but...
Yeah. You're taking back your apology.
Yeah. I know. It's crazy. It's crazy.
No one smokes a few too many joints and then goes onto Goodreads, creates 40 fake accounts, some that had ethnic or foreign to her names, and accidentally drops a host of negative reviews on 2024 debut novels.
No.
You know what they do? You guys know how I've been sleeping so awfully? Well, that's like having like a really negative impact on my mood now. Like officially, I've hit the point where I'm just not sleeping enough and I'm having bad dreams and I just don't feel good.
Mm-hmm.
So I bought some gummies for the first time in years because we can in California.
It is legal in California to buy edible gummies.
Yeah, so I bought some gummies and you know what they make me do? They make me want to watch a bad action movie with Connor.
Yeah.
That's what I do. If you asked me what in the midst of that high to go onto Goodreads and make an account, I don't think I could do it.
You don't even
couldn't focus.
No, you don't even remember what you said 10 minutes ago.
I'll be in the middle of a sentence and I forget what I'm talking about.
You do.
So what do you mean? You smoke too many joints? Like this isn't how people who have substance abuse problems actually act. And this isn't how somebody who gets too drunk acts. Like you did this very much on purpose, that you were insecure about your book. You want to quit your bad programming job and be a writer full time, which I totally empathize with and I
100%.
understand. And I understand if you're dealing with depression, why do you think so many authors in history have drank themselves to death? Life is hard, especially for people who pay attention. I get it. It's not an excuse.
No, it's not. Here's the thing. Maybe this is like reaching a little bit too far, but they say with like a lot of addiction that you can't make somebody get better. You can't make somebody want to quit their addiction.
No.
They have to choose to do that.
Which is the hardest part of having a relationship with an addict.
Absolutely.
In my experience.
Absolutely. Same. And part of that is like they have to hit their rock bottom. Then they have to have kind of that come to Jesus moment. Not literal Jesus, but just kind of like I need to turn my life around moment, right? I think there are fixings of that kind of thought process or the avoidance of that thought process in apologies like this.
Mm-hmm.
Someone like Cait Corrain, the apology that she has given at least, tells me that in order to accept responsibility, she has to hit rock bottom. And she did not hit rock bottom. Somebody is making her apologize. She feels like she is forced to apologize. And for that reason, she's making excuses to avoid taking accountability. Because if she actually felt guilty, she would take accountability and say, I am so sorry, genuinely, I messed up, I want to get better. But instead, it's excuse after excuse because she didn't really do it. The other stuff made her do it.
The addiction made me do it.
Yeah.
No, babe, you did it.
Yeah.
You did it. Yeah. Some of these reviews say things like, this was legitimately awful and everyone who liked it should be ashamed of themselves. This is the worst part for me. One of the books she bombed was called The Hurricane Wars by Taya Guanzon, who was Kate's real personal in-life friend. And Taya actually wrote a beautiful endorsement for A Crown of Starlight. And then she turned around and trashed her book.
Are you serious?
Several times on these accounts. Like, does anyone actually expect me to believe that vodka is to blame for this? If so, step forward. I want to have what you're having. How strong is that cocktail?
We are not medical practitioners in any capacity.
No.
This sounds very narcissistic in behavior.
It's everything about this is just you,
it's just
babe.
me. And I'm not going to diagnose this woman. I don't know her, but my God, the level of just like self-involvement that all of this is to do that to a friend.
I can't believe, I know. I read that and was heartbroken.
Could you imagine if a friend of yours did that to you? Like, I honestly can't even picture it. Like, that would ruin the friend. Obviously, the friendship's over after that. Like,
yeah. And this is like where I want to talk about like how difficult it is to write a book and then get a book published.
yeah.
We've talked about this on the channel a little bit before, but let's just talk about like how difficult it is to get a book to a place where it is ready to be queried.
Yes.
The amount of time that can go into that process. Just like to use for my own example, I'm not like a strictly prose writer. I write mostly scripts. And so my timeline for writing scripts is much faster. But I wrote my first draft for a book back in 2023, and I am still working through the next draft of that because I work. Usually multiple jobs at once, and I write other things, and I have other deadlines, and I have type 1 diabetes, so I have 11 doctors that I have to be in pretty constant communication with. I have medication. I'm in a relationship. I have friends. I have my mother. There are other things in life that I have to do. I do not have 8 hours a day to sit at my desk and just work on my book.
No.
So it takes just a little chipping here, a little chipping here. It'll probably be 10 years before my book ever gets to a place where I'm even ready to consider putting it out into the public. 10 years of life. There are plays that I've been writing and rewriting since I was in college. That's almost 10 years ago now. So to get to that point, 10 years, writing, editing, sending it out to friends, maybe having a reading party, editing, taking a red line, and just like taking classes, trying to get better, trying to get your book to a place where it is strong and beautiful and exactly what you want it to be and what it can be.
Yeah.
And then querying, which again, Christiane Jones has covered extensively on her channel. That can take years. Sending your book out to people, they don't hear anything. And then they say, oh, we love it. Let's have a meeting. And then they cancel the meeting. And then you have an interview and they're like, oh, you're beautiful, wonderful. We're going to send you an offer in 20 minutes. You never receive an offer. 6 months go by. You hear nothing. Finally, somebody gets back to you and oh my God, maybe they want to publish your book. If you're lucky.
Right.
If you're lucky and you get traditionally published. And now the negotiations start and your agent is calling you and you're calling your agent and you're putting together deals and people are sending you paperwork and they're like, how do you think of this cover? And you have to be like, I hate that cover. And then you got to find more artists and then you find another editor and people are sending you developmental edits and line edits and you're editing. And again, people are cutting up this thing that you've spent 10 years on in front of you. It's extremely painful and very difficult. And then by some miracle, your book actually is going to come out and you are going to get paid for it. The amount of time and energy and effort that goes into getting to that point where you are posting on your Instagram, hey guys, my book is coming out in 6 months. Get ready. 2024 debut.
Yeah.
And then to have your to go through all of that and to have your friend post a negative review about it and bomb it on Goodreads and say things like, this was embarrassing. And if anybody out there read this and liked it, shame on you, that's so demoralizing to me.
Ugh.
That breaks my heart. I can't believe that happened. I can't believe this happens. I think Cait Corrain is not unique in that they did this, but I think they are unique in that they got caught.
Yeah.
And I think especially for authors of color, I know we think that we're in this moment where it's like, oh, diversity is the big thing. Like if you're not diverse, you're never going to get picked up. The statistics are there and they don't agree with that. Publishing is still, especially traditional publishing, good Lord, predominantly white and predominantly male. That is how it always has been. That is not going to shift around in 2 years because now we decide, you know what? I think we ought to hear from more diverse people. So to be a diverse author who writes diverse stories, and then again, to go through that whole process of just trying to prove to people that your book is worth investing in, it is worth buying, it is worth reading. Please, this is so personal and wonderful to me. I want to share it with you. That's all I want to do. And to have your book be bombed, this is a big deal. Like, it's not just, I didn't really like this restaurant. Like, the dumplings weren't that good.
Right.
No, you trashed people's lifetime work on a public forum.
Right.
And then didn't apologize for it. You blamed it on depression.
And that's I think some people would say, I think there would be some people who would say, well, what's the big deal? It's just a couple of negative reviews. If the book's really good, then it won't matter.
These are debut authors.
But it matters a lot for debut authors. And like you said, some of them are traditionally published.
Yes.
And that's even more heartbreaking because self-published, not traditionally published.
I know.
So self-published authors don't have the same kind of financing, backing, resources as traditionally published authors do. They're doing everything out of pocket and by themselves. It's very expensive. So to have all that invested and then to have reviews mean a lot to people like that.
They do.
Reviews mean so much to people like that.
They do. It's so important.
Yeah.
I've had friends who have written and published books and they're like, please write me a review on Amazon. Like, please write me a review on Barnes & Noble. Like anything that helps legitimize my book.
Yeah.
It's really difficult as a debut author to get people to buy your book because they don't know what to expect. They don't know you. And like the general public doesn't read lit mags and interviews. Like they don't know you. So even if you're pretty popular in the lit space and this is your first book, you're not popular and famous in the general public space.
No.
So you're trying to get strangers to buy your book, people who don't know you, who don't know what you're about. You're just trying to get them hooked on the story.
Yeah.
And if they go on to Goodreads and they see the bad reviews, that might be reason enough for them to not buy your book.
Exactly. And I know that for a lot of debut authors specifically, when it comes to getting into bookstores and getting onto shelves, that's how publishers decide whether or not, that's a portion of how publishers decide whether or not they're going to give that author another book.
I know.
It's based on how that first book sells.
Yes.
You know?
So to do this is like not just to tank their book, which is awful enough, but maybe to tank their career, to tank their deal that they got.
Right.
How could you do that?
To a fellow author, to some, what the process is.
They're hyping up your book. They're going to buy your book. They're writing these really sweet reviews. Like, how could you do this?
Yeah.
How could you do this?
It's such a betrayal. Like, it's, again, artists should look out for artists because we're all in this kind of pit of malice together.
I mean, if we're not going to do it,
right.
Who's going to do it? Jeff Bezos?
Right, because we're in a position to be taken advantage of.
Yes,
At the end of the day, artists who are not millionaires already are getting taken advantage of. A person who is a debut author deserves to get paid more than whatever they get paid for their debut novel. I would argue on average, I'm sure that's true, right? Like, Donna Tartt got paid a certain amount of money for her first book. She was always Donna Tartt. You know what I mean? She deserved to get more.
But they don't know that
But they
yet.
don't know that.
And again, you said this analogy a few videos ago, I think in the Age of Scorpius video, but agencies are like polar bears.
Yeah.
Where it's like they burn so many calories throughout the day just to exist that they have to eat.
Yes.
They don't care what it is.
And brother, they're going to eat.
Yes. So if they're trying to get through like a sheet of ice to get to a seal, but that's going to burn 1,000 calories, the seal's only 1,500. It's not worth it.
No.
I got to keep it moving. It's the same thing with agencies. Those margins are teeny tiny. They are really skinny and they're getting skinnier and skinnier. So if you are not pretty much a guaranteed sellout, it's very difficult to get traditional publishing to take you seriously.
Exactly. And that's the thing. Like, when it comes to art, as an artist, the world is constantly undervaluing what your art is actually worth.
Oh my God. Everybody's looking for a reason to not buy your thing.
Exactly.
Well, it's too gay. Well, I've never read something by you before. Well, I don't really know what your thing is. Well, I don't like your pen name. Well, I don't like the cover. It's your life's work just for somebody to be like, I don't really like the color purple. And they just keep shopping. It's so tough out there. Why are we making it harder on each other? So this stupid, crappy apology continues. In late November 2023, I started a new medication. And on December 2nd, 2023, I suffered a complete psychological breakdown. During this time, I created roughly 6 profiles on Goodreads, and along with 2 profiles I made during a similar but shorter breakdown in 2022, I boosted the rating of my book, bombed the ratings of several fellow debut authors, and left reviews that ranged from kinda mean to downright abusive. 2 of those authors, Molly X. Chang and Danielle Jensen, are fellow Del Rey authors. Camilla Cole and Bethany Baptiste just happened to be on the wrong Goodreads lists at the wrong time. I don't know about that wording, babe. The wrong list at the wrong time. All right. I felt no ill will towards any of them. It was just my fear about how my book would be received running out of control. My memories of this are extremely fuzzy. That's not taking accountability. So it's possible there are a couple of other authors. If so, please know I take full ownership of what I did to you as well. I'm sorrier than you'll ever know. There's nothing I can say to erase what I did to you. Here's my problem with this. I have a lot of problems with this, but here's like my big problem with this is Sharon J. Zhao did all the work for you. All you have to do is look at that Google Doc. It's open to the public. You can see every author that you negatively impacted. So to say, my memory is super fuzzy, I don't really remember. I only remember these 4 people.
Yeah.
No, you remember everybody.
You do.
You remember every single person. And if you don't, Sharon J. Zhao made a list for you. So you can just look at that.
She's not sorry that she did it.
No, she's sorry that she got caught.
She's sorry that she got caught.
I agree.
Are you familiar with the narcissist prayer?
I don't remember it. Even if I did it. No, say it to me.
I'll read it out loud. So here is the narcissist prayer. That didn't happen. And if it did, it wasn't that bad. And if it was, that's not a big deal. And if it is, that's not my fault. And if it was, I didn't mean it. And if I did, you deserved it. Food for thought.
Yeah. When I was slapped on the wrist by Goodreads and vague tweeted by a handful of people, I panicked that my secret was about to get out, and rather than taking responsibility for my actions, I tried to cover my tracks. Still in the middle of this breakdown, once again, not taking accountability. I don't care if you were in the middle of a breakdown. What you did was completely irreprehensible. I can't even remember the word. I can't remember the word. You're sucking the words right out of my head. That's how much I fucking hate you. And sent fake apologies for the actions of said friend, which only made things worse. I betrayed the confidence of my agent, my pub team, my readers, and my friends, and betrayed my own deeply held values. I don't know if you have a value, babe. I don't.
I'm not seeing any.
If you have values, even in the midst of a breakdown, you don't behave this way.
No.
You don't make up ethnically diverse names to comment under authors and their books to make your bad review seem more legitimate. I've had a lot of espresso martinis in my life. I have never thought, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to leave a bad book review. What? I'm like, I'm going to run down this street right now. They can't catch me. I'm super fast. My friends are super slow. That's what's happening. I also dragged one of my dearest friends and fellow debut authors into the mud with me when she came to my defense. I'll leave her name out of this so as to not pull her in even deeper. However, if she wishes to come forward, I'll apologize to her publicly as well. I believe she's referring to the girl with albinism on Twitter.
Okay.
Again, I didn't go down that rabbit hole. It seemed completely unrelated.
Copy that.
Let me be extremely clear. While I might not have been sober or of sound mind during this time, I accept responsibility for the pain and suffering I caused, and my delay in posting this is due to spending the last few days offline while going through withdrawal as I sobered up enough to be brutally honest with you and myself. I know some of you won't forgive me, and I recognize that you're not required to. No one ever wants to be judged by their worst actions, but that's not always up to us. I'll be reaching out to everyone directly impacted, though that may take time, since I'm checking into an intensive psychiatric care and rehab facility, which means I'll be mostly off social media as I need to give 100% to the program if I want it to stick. All I can do going forward is try to live my life in a way that shows these aren't empty words. Yours with so much love and the utmost heartbreak, Cait Corrain.
I don't buy a word of it.
Reads with Cindy said it really, really well.
Because white people will constantly bring up their queerness and neurodivergence. They always bring it up as a playing card whenever they need more social leverage. Cait might as well have said that all the Goodreads accounts that she made were just because of her ADHD.
I am not big on anonymity and pen names, especially in this day and age, because it allows people to duck responsibility.
Yeah.
And I was talking to you about this earlier, but like, I have a right to be a conscious consumer. I want to choose where I put my money. Mm-hmm. So if Cait Corrain just like flies off and doesn't take accountability and just changes their name and becomes a different person and like presents differently and publishes under a different name in a different genre, I have a right to avoid that book. I don't want to give you money. I don't agree with your value system. I don't agree with the way that you operate. I don't want to support your life.
Yeah.
I have a right to know where I'm putting my money.
I agree.
And if you hide behind a pen name and anonymity and a new identity, I can't do that.
I think authors obviously have the right to write and publish anonymously, and readers have the right to not read it because they're anonymous.
Yes.
You know?
I know.
Because to write anonymously and to post anonymously means that you could be anybody, including my worst enemy. Mm-hmm. So for that reason, I'm not going to read it. I think the phrase responsible consumerism is a really important facet of that. To be a responsible consumer when it comes to media, especially in the internet age, where people write anonymously, people can make things without accountability, that it takes an extra step as a consumer of arts and of media. And I think that's really important.
I'm just against it. I do think I am coming to a point where I'm like, no, I demand to know who you are. Mm-hmm. I want to know where I'm putting my money. I want to know what kind of bullshit you're up to. I want to know, because when I'm on YouTube, like there are plenty of videos that pop up by creators that I don't want to click on their video. I don't want to give them AdSense. I don't want to interact with their links. I don't want to support their lifestyle. I fundamentally disagree with everything that they do.
Yeah.
So I block them. That way, I'm not leaving hate under a video, but I also don't have to interact with it. And it can I'm not supporting it. Mm-hmm. If other people want to, that's up to them, but I don't have to.
Sure.
But when you hide behind like AI generated headshots and fake names and like fake identities, which is a major problem in the publishing industry right now, authors pretending to be women, authors pretending to be queer, authors pretending to be people of color who are not. Mm-hmm. No, I want to see your face. Who are you?
I know it's weird. I've read that Stephen King published under a pen name for a couple of years after he got famous, and his whole thing was like, I want to write a book without the pressure of being Stephen King, and I want to see if I can be successful with
Interesting.
that. And it was. It wasn't as successful as Stephen King, right? But I think it's kind of like when Radiohead broke off and made The Smile, which is a band that it's just Tom York and Johnny Greenwood and a really good drummer that they know. And it's like, yeah, we don't want to make Radiohead stuff. There's a lot of pressure around Radiohead.
Sure.
We want to do stuff that's fun for us, right? But it's still very clearly Johnny Greenwood and Tom York, right? They're not hiding the fact that that's who it is.
No, but that strikes me as like the thing that you and I do, which is like I promise this is interesting, and we make Girlfriend Explains.
Sure.
But it's like, it's still us.
It's like two different shows.
It's pretty easy to verify like who we are, Here we are, but we have 2 different shows. The same thing with like Bon Iver and Justin Vernon. Same guy.
Sure.
Just like doesn't want to publish under Bon Iver for everything.
I don't know. I'm kind of curious what the audience thinks about pen names.
I'm also curious. I don't think there's like a blanket like no one should do it or everyone should do it.
No.
But I think I generally veer on the side of no. Yeah. I want to know who you are so I can decide if I want to support you with my money and my time or not.
The thing is, I agree with you on that. But I'm also like, there is a part of like, what's the harm in pen names as long as somebody's doing the due diligence. But at this point in the internet, it's harder to do due diligence when people could just publish books on Amazon for free.
Yeah.
You know?
It's like, then that feels like there's genuinely no consequence for your really bad actions.
Correct.
And I demand justice.
I know you
Justice forever. Yeah, I think I watched a video on this subject by Bookish Realm, which I thought she had such a measured take. I don't know how she was so measured. I wanted to punch my laptop. But she said, just because you are a member of a marginalized community does not mean you cannot cause harm. And I think that was a really good read of the situation.
That's really good. Yeah. I think that tends to happen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Also something that I think about every time somebody wants to like obfuscate and be like, well, it's because of my dad. Well, it's because I grew up in Texas. So I can't, be held responsible for my racist opinions. It's like, I always think like, well, yeah, there's context to everything. Everything that we do, crazy or not, is a direct result of everything else that we've done, everything that happened to and for us. We know that we don't have control over everything that happens to us. So we could do this forever. Right? Like we could extrapolate outwards and examine why we made that decision and how we got here, but it doesn't address the harm, and the harm is the point. I don't really care what your childhood was like, Cait Corrain. I don't really care that now you are gay and you live in LA and you have birds and a dog and you used to work in film and TV, but now you work in programming. None of that actually addresses the harm that you caused to a community that supposedly meant a lot to you. Right. All it does is like maybe give you like a picture of a person and like, how could something like this happen? How can somebody turn out to do something so twisted and demented? Mm-hmm. It's like, yeah, that might help answer that question. I don't really care. I don't really care what happened to you that made you do it. You did it and you're a grown ass woman. I think you should take accountability and shut the fuck up.
I think we have a problem as a culture of being out of practice with understanding how to take responsibility properly. Like I truly think that our culture right now has a severe problem, a severe deficit with understanding what it means to actually take responsibility and the steps that it takes to make sure that you, 1, take accountability for your actions, and 2, try to make things correct and try to make things right.
Sometimes when you do wrong, there's not an excuse or an explanation that you can give that's going to justify the behavior. This is one of those situations where I did wrong, I accept responsibility, and I need to do some self-healing. I need to work on myself, not continuously try to reframe things, trying to do press control, trying to do damage control, trying to control social media so that you're not seen as the villain in this narrative. You are the villain in this narrative.
It is so hard to write a book, and we've talked about publishing before and how grueling that process is. Traditional, self, or something in between. It is expensive, it is time consuming, it is draining. Traditional publishing in particular is not available to most writers, because publishing is not a meritocracy. No. It's not like, well, if you're just so good, they can't deny you'll get a book deal.
Right.
No, they will still deny you. You could be the next Ernest Hemingway, they will deny you just because they don't feel like paying your rent for a month. It is hard. I think important to note that it is hard for me to write a book. And I am an incredibly lucky person. My family has been incredibly supportive of the fact that I'm a writer my whole life. I was in mime troupe. I went to a performing arts high school. My parents, who've worked in construction and accounting their whole lives, were always just like, cool, do it. I didn't have that experience with my family where they were like, ooh, how are you going to support yourself? Right. They were like, well, she'll figure it out. We love you. We're just glad that you want to do something. They never discouraged me from doing what I wanted to do. I also loved school, and I had a real proclivity towards school. So I wanted to go to school. I wanted to get my advanced degree. That was something I wanted to do, and it was something that I had the ability to do. Mm-hmm. I don't know if I would be where I am if I didn't have that kind of emotional support, and if I didn't have the system of luck that has just kind of circled me as a person my whole life.
There is a lot of luck involved in being a working artist. And the first luck that a lot of people get is just having people who accept what you're doing.
Yeah.
You know,
You don't have to hide it.
you don't have to hide it, because a lot of people, I'm also in your boat. I was lucky enough to have my parents both love and support and absolutely tell me, like, go for it. Do it with your whole ass and do it.
Yeah.
You know,
Neither one of my parents ever, to their credit, said, well, how about medicine?
right. How are you going to make money?
Yeah. Have you
No.
considered being a lawyer? And maybe part of it was like they knew I wouldn't be a good doctor.
Right.
They were like, well, okay, yeah, pick something you can do. Town fool, great.
Right. And a lot of people don't get that, unfortunately.
No.
A lot of people are forced to be a doctor, go to med school, like, instead of do the thing they want to do, which is art.
Yes. Like if I grew up in a super religious household, or if I were trying to raise a child or 2 or 3 or 7 by myself, if I had a disability that was completely debilitating, if I were marginalized and overlooked and disenfranchised in the way that like Indigenous authors are, for example, it would be even harder. It is a miracle that Tommy Orange is writing at the level that he is writing right now. I don't know how he made it. I don't know how he made it there. So here's another thing that I need to point out with a lot of fury. So remember that really fun and really real text conversation we just read?
Sure.
Well, there was a little bit more of it. Cait sent a cropped version to the group chat, but the uncropped version included this extra line from Lily. I just remembered something important. A lot of my bad reviews were for POC authors. When the call out post eventually comes for you, they'll call you a racist too. You're welcome, bitch. Now, because Cait has admitted that this conversation was fake, and also because we all knew it was fake, she knew that what she was doing was racist.
Oh my God.
She knew it, and she acknowledged it in the fake conversation, but she does not acknowledge it in this crappy apology.
Yeah.
So
people always tell on themselves. People always tell on themselves if you pay attention. We're constantly telling on ourselves.
yes.
We can't help it. That's crazy that
I
she made the Lily account, messaged herself to create the fake messages, and then called herself. Oh my God.
Yeah.
It's too many layers of just absolute buffoonery.
Do you ever get sick of just looking at yourself in the mirror all day? Just, do you ever want to go outside or think about another person or thing or tofu? Like literally just anything to like mix up your mind a little bit.
Like, go on a walk or like pet a dog or something. Like, what are we
Dude,
doing?
call someone,
Seriously.
anyone. Just punch in a number and call and see who answers and ask them a question about themselves. Good Lord. Anyway, let's talk about the fallout. The same day that Cait puts out that pity parade dressed up in apologies clothes, Del Rey drops her. Her agent, Rebecca Podos, also drops her. And Bethany and the author with albinism made up over Twitter. The world is beginning to heal. 2 months later, February 2024, Cait Corrain does an interview with the Daily Beast.
Okay.
Quote, I want to be extraordinarily clear that race had absolutely nothing to do with the authors that I chose to go after. The fact that there were a large number of people of color amongst the authors that I targeted is an unfortunate coincidence. I'm so distressed and heartbroken by the fact that the impression that people have of me now is that I am racist. That is the distressing part to Cait Corrain, that people perceive her as a racist.
Yeah.
Man, oh man.
That's like when people say the worst thing you can be called is a racist. It's like, oh, that tells me a lot about you.
Disagree.
Yeah.
Disagree hard
That
on
tells
that.
me a lot about you.
Keep digging, babe. You're going to find lava. God, I thought maybe the part where you review bombed your friend after she wrote a lovely review for you would have been the low point and the distressing part. But man, what do I know about friendship, I guess. Here's another quote. I understand how difficult the publishing industry is to navigate when you are marginalized, Corrain told the Daily Beast, adding that she is a Jewish neurodivergent person.
Oh, man.
Can Del Rey drop her a second time just for shits and gigs?
Neurodivergence is a very real thing that people have.
Yes, and it does make your life difficult.
It does.
It's not an advantage, I would say.
But why is it that people who are shitty and get caught doing shitty things will have a tendency to claim that they are also neurodivergent suddenly, this is the first time I'm saying it, is in this interview where I'm trying to apologize and set the record straight. I've never mentioned it before in my entire career, but I actually am neurodivergent, yes.
And it happens at every level. Like it's happening with Cait Corrain, who was going to be a debut author, but now is not even a debut author. She's just some racist who got called out and had her book deal canceled, and that's all she'll ever be. But like even like at J.K. Rowling's level, when we still liked her, when she was still she was still like, wow, J.K. Rowling, you know.
Before we knew. Yeah,
before we knew what was going on. But she said during an interview, because she kind of got cornered, and she was asked like, okay, like this is not a very diverse story. Like there are some like allegations that like you have some problematic symbolism in your books. Like, how do you feel about that? What's your reaction to that? And she started being like, well, you know, I never said Harry Potter wasn't in a wheelchair. Well, I never said that Hermione couldn't be black. You're like, ma'am, the one Irish character that entire series, by the way, is named like Seamus McGee, and he's drunk the entire time.
Right.
And that's not even touching all the other allegations in the Harry Potter world.
I think the only, at least in the movies, the only Asian character is named Cho Chang.
Oh, I forgot. Oh, no.
I'm pretty sure her name's Cho Chang.
Yes, Cho Chang. She has one storyline in one movie, and then she just disappears. Yeah. Gone. Not useful anymore because she's not dating Harry.
Yeah.
Cait also goes on to mention her dyslexia in this interview, as though that has anything to do with creating 40, count 'em, 40 fake Goodreads accounts, and all but blames her ADHD diagnosis for this little outburst.
Well, I have dyslexia. I thought 5 stars was actually 1 star. I saw the stars backwards.
Ma'am, that's dyscalculia. That's 2 whole separate problems. Yeah, she also mentions that notes from the editor made them spiral.
Getting notes on her book.
Then, babe, you're not a writer. I don't know what to tell you.
It's funny. She gets one little like pass at self-marketing in this apology, in this set the record straight press conference.
I don't know. I mean, if that text conversation didn't do it for you, this does. You're not a writer. You can't take notes and you can't write dialogue. Fuck off.
Yeah.
Get a hobby. One that doesn't involve you working with other people, preferably.
Get out of the space. Like, and get out
You're not welcome here.
Get out of the space and get out of the way.
I want that on a t-shirt.
You know what I mean?
Get out of the way.
We can talk about this later. We talked about it very briefly. There is a subreddit that I follow a little bit where it's fantasy writers can submit parts of their chapters for review.
Oh.
And there's been a recent controversy where some writers are being accused of using AI to write part of their novel. And it's real clear that that's what's happening.
Go home and monologue to yourself in the mirror.
It's very frustrating.
Go home and pick your nose and look at it. That's what you're qualified to do.
If you aren't going to be a part of the community, why do you want to do it?
Get out of the way. This is like my favorite Staple Singers song. Just get out the way and let the gentleman do his thing. God. Here's another quote from this amazing interview. On top of self-medicating with alcohol and marijuana and her daily dose of ADHD medication and mood stabilizers, Corrain began doing IV ketamine treatments for depression. That is a hallucinogenic that really started destabilizing my sense of reality. Does this sound like the plot of My Year of Rest and Relaxation to anybody else? Is she plagiarizing an Otessa Moshfegh novel to explain her racist Goodreads behavior? Because that's new. That's creative.
That is creative.
I mean, she's got a bone for it.
Plagiarizing a novel for your crash out is kind of crazy.
Yeah, wow. Okay. Yeah, I read that book too. I really liked it. Quote, I developed this deep insecurity that I was a failure because I couldn't do what abled authors could apparently do with no problem.
Oh boy. Lindsey's about to blow a gasket.
Abled. Abled. What are you? I want to be so mean, and I want a little bit of credit for not doing it right now.
She really wants to be marginalized.
What a stupid fucking thing to say.
Yeah.
What abled people could do? You know, I have struggled with depression. I haven't talked about this on the pod before, I don't think. I think it's probably assumed. I think you can look at me and be like, yeah, I don't know if she's having a great time, you know? But I struggle with depression, major depression. And I also have PTSD and all these really fun diagnoses the doctors like to throw at me, and type 1 diabetes. I mean, that is like a real legitimate disability. I'm in the ADA, baby.
Yeah. Yes, you are.
And once again, I have never gone on Twitter and like created a whole fake person in the Raylo fandom and messaged myself and called myself racist and behaved racistly and bombed debut authors' books and just built my own work up. I've never even come close to that. No. And a lot of people in the book space have said similar things because, once again, writers do tend to drink and they do tend to be depressed. Not everybody, but a lot of us. And they're like, I've also struggled with depression. Never done this. Never even thought about doing this.
No.
I really just was, I want to lay down a lot. That's what that looks like.
Yeah.
Oh, God. Oh, I want to be so mean. The worst I'll say is you're just a loser. Such a loser over there. Have fun in your loser world. Yeah. Also, this feels like a really good time to bring up one of my favorite tweets in the entire world, which is like somebody on Twitter was like complaining. They're like, hey, before you light off fireworks for New Year's Eve, just remember that like ADHD people have a really hard time with fireworks. And somebody responded saying, you people can't do anything. I'm like, yeah, come on. I get it. It's tough out there, but this is not an excuse. You're still responsible for your behavior. I think it's just become a catch-all for shitty behavior, impulsive tweets, and showing up late,
That is a good point. Like, there are certain things where you look at somebody's actions and you look at who they are or what they have going on. It's like, well, understandable. A lot of people's behavior, you can't excuse away with a thing that they have.
No.
You know what I mean?
No.
Like, to the point where it's like even having personality problems or addiction problem, like that's still not an excuse.
No. And like getting diagnosed with a mental illness, that can help explain like patterns of thought that you have and like loops that you find yourself getting caught on. Depression, I get caught on that loop of just like things are never going to get better. It's just never going to happen. Never, never, never. And like with anxiety, it can be like the worst thing is going to happen over. And that's a loop that you get stuck on. So it can explain a pattern of thought. Yeah. It does not explain what you do as a result of those thoughts. Once again, like you are an adult, you are responsible. It's not like you're an 8-year-old little boy and you have no idea how to function in the world. Yeah. You are grown up. You haven't lived with your parents for a long time. At some point, you lose the right to blame them.
Right.
It's not their fault anymore. You're 30. Grow up.
Yeah. You have to decide how you're going to live.
Yeah. Be proud about it. I did that. I crashed out on Twitter. I burned my own book to the ground.
That was something my mom told us growing up, was like, don't ever do anything that you wouldn't want to have written on the front page of a paper. And I think that's a really good piece of advice.
Oh, that is good advice. Your mom has some gems.
I know she does.
You say things sometimes. I'm like, I should write that down. That's really good. Yeah. My college boyfriend had ADHD, and you know how that manifested? He had a really hard time writing essays and setting up his Canvas account. He did not sabotage another band.
No. And he graduated from college.
Yeah, so I don't believe you. Plenty of other booktubers, D. Fretter in particular, also made a really wonderful video. He's so patient and understanding throughout this entire catastrophe, and I cannot understand why. A lot of booktubers and book talkers took Cait at their word, but I don't. I don't believe it for a second. I think there was a fat and exciting book deal sitting in her inbox, and she wanted to quit her programming job, and she started doing what all writers do when they have a little too much free time, which is drink, smoke, and fuck around.
Yeah.
And she found out, and I don't feel bad.
Boy, she did find out.
Yeah. The title of this interview, by the way, is Author Who Review Bombed Writers of Color. I'm Not Racist. And I think that is why Cait did this interview, because she wanted that to be the first thing that pops up when you Google her name.
Yes.
It's not, by the way.
It's not?
No. So this big, stupid interview was for nothing. Once again, the aesthetic of being a writer seems more appealing and more important than being a writer, actually. They did not want to be perceived as a racist. That doesn't fit into a creative genius persona that she's trying to manifest. So I'm pretty disturbed by the fact that she seems unconcerned about her friends' feelings, entirely. Yes, she negatively impacted their careers. She lied to them. She was manipulative, shallow, and cowardly, but she hurt them. She betrayed their trust, first and foremost. She wrote horrible things about their hard work on a public forum. I don't know how you get past that.
No.
I have a story from my own life.
Oh boy.
So I have a few really close girlfriends here, and one of them, I think she wants to be very private, so I'll call her Harmonica.
Okay.
My friend Harmonica and I, all the girls went out to brunch, and Harmonica made a joke. I do not remember what this joke is. And days pass, and Harmonica texts me and says, "Hey, I'm really sorry. I've been thinking about that joke for days. It's torturing me. I should not have said that. It wasn't funny. It hurt your feelings. I'm so sorry." And I was like, I have no idea what you're talking about. And she was like, "Great. I'm so sorry. Never mind. Forget it. Forget I even said anything." And I'm like, what joke could you even have been? I have no concept of the joke that you made. She's like, "I'm really glad. I'm sorry. I was really crashing out." Like, that's a really good friend.
That is a really good friend.
Somebody who like considers your feelings so much that they're like, "God, I shouldn't have said that. That wasn't tasteful. That probably hurt her feelings. I'm going to reach out and say something."
Yeah.
So like, I can't imagine like someone in my friend group sabotaging one of my scripts or one of my opportunities because they're worried about their own careers. Like their wins are also my wins. Our community is teeny tiny. So one person getting a bump, one person getting a deal or an agent or a manager or a really exciting meeting, that's a bump for all of us if you want to be selfish about it.
Yeah.
Like, number one, you should just be happy that your friend's hard work is paying off. I think it should
Absolutely.
start there.
Absolutely.
But Cait Corrain was not.
That's what I don't understand is like, why review bomb the other authors? Truthfully, like what, there is no objective function to that. It will never equate to more people buying your book.
No.
So the only actual reason is because you're in a sensitive place and you want to take them down.
Yeah.
That's all it is. It is a personal attack against someone else.
Yeah. Daniel Green actually made like not a full dedicated video, but he reacted to this whole situation on a live stream. And he mentioned like, I would understand if she made an account and like rated her own book 5 stars. Cause he was like, I've done that. And by the way, like every author rates their own book 5 stars. I would rate my own book 5 stars. Never read anything better.
When we had 75 subscribers, Lindsey used to be one of our top commenters.
I did. I had a fake YouTube account. I'd be like, "Wow, more of this.
Yeah.
Oh my God, he's so cute. Look at your beautiful hair." Like pros, sponsorship.
Because you need to. Like when you're first starting out, you need to.
You want to beef your own stuff up. But I
Yeah.
wasn't also going on other YouTube accounts covering the same stuff as us. Like, wow, you suck and Hidden Rabbits did it better. Like, cancel your account. If you're still subscribed to this account, you're a loser and a hack. Anyway, I wanted to ask you, do you think cancel culture is real?
What do you mean by that question?
Well, because Cait lost her book deal.
Okay.
She lost her agent
Mm-hmm.
and she lost her credibility.
Mm-hmm.
Is cancel culture real?
I mean, that sounds like a cancellation to me.
It does, but I think in the modern day and age of internet, it's too easy to respawn somewhere else and just continue. It's the way that like James Charles has just like kind of disappeared off of YouTube and like risen back up on TikTok.
Sure.
It's like, because everybody on YouTube knows like, I don't know about this guy, but over on TikTok, they don't know that.
Right.
So it's
Right.
a very different ecosystem over there.
Yeah, the internet makes the world a much bigger place, unfortunately. And fortunately. But yeah, I don't know. I think when it comes to certain things, cancellations are effective. This might be a controversial take. I do think we as a society need to have a route back to the rest of the community. If you are canceled for something, I think there should be a way for you to earn back favor. Now, that has to be decided by not you. You don't get to decide what the tempo and pace of that looks like. But I think it's important that people who do wrong, get punished, accept responsibility, are able to come back into society and come back into the fold, right? Having changed. Just like how if you're like in a romantic relationship with somebody and you do something wrong against them, you should be able to move past that as a partner.
Yes.
Right?
But okay, this is how my own personal feelings. For Cait Corrain, I don't want them back in the writing space.
Yes.
I think you've burned that bridge and that world and the shoes that you used to cross over the bridge. I think everything's up in smoke. But if I found out that Cait Corrain like opened up an Etsy shop and was selling homemade blankets, I wouldn't review bomb that blanket store.
No.
I'd be like, all right, I mean, they're doing something new now.
Yeah.
Great.
Yeah.
You know, like you do have to function within society. Like you can't just
Absolutely.
be sent to the moon and like, bye, you know.
Mm-hmm.
But Yeah, I don't think you're a writer for a
No.
lot of reasons, but
And
number one, you're a nightmare.
let's be clear. Being a writer, being an author, being a published author is not a right that somebody has.
No.
You don't have the God-given right to be an author. It is a very specific privilege that very few are granted.
Very entitled behavior
It's
across this
very-
whole catastrophe.
It's very entitled behavior, you know?
Like, I deserve to be here and you don't. Like, I'm going to
Exactly.
tear you down to try to build myself up so I look better.
Mhm.
Like, why don't you just write a really good book?
Right.
What if you just wrote the best work that you've ever written?
Yeah, that's the thing. She strikes me as somebody who thinks she deserves it. She deserves to be an author. She deserves to have the money and to be a best-selling author.
Yeah. And
You
the
know?
thing I empathize with is like, if Cait Corrain had actually been working in film and TV for years, living out
Mhm.
here in Los Angeles, and then gave that up and went over to programming because it's more financially viable
Seriously.
and like emotionally supportive. And now they have this book deal and they're kind of desperate for this to work out because they want this to be their full-time job.
Sure.
I empathize with that deeply.
That feeling I totally get.
I do.
Absolutely.
Of just like, I need this to work out. I want to quit my shitty daytime job. I'm tired of worrying about money. I'm tired of scraping by. I'm tired of just surviving and counting beans. I'm so tired of it. I get that. I can tap into the anxiety of I'm a debut author. This thing I've been working on for a long time is coming out soon. And I'm in the midst of other really talented authors who are like writing in the same genre as me and who are also inspired by Greek mythology and queer storytelling. And I think it's natural to feel nervous and like have imposter syndrome. But you know who would like really understand that? Those people,
Those people.
that community.
Yeah.
What would be so wrong and so god awful evil of her if she had just sent a message in that Slack channel of being like, I'm feeling nervous about my book coming out because I'm looking at all of your books and the art looks good and the snippets are great. And I'm really worried that mine is not going to hold up and I'm going to get buried.
Yeah.
I guarantee you would have gotten messages being like, oh, girl, same. Like,
Exactly.
I'm also nervous. Like, this is really hard.
Exactly. She's not a part of she wasn't a part of the community. She chose not to be a part of the
No,
community.
she wanted to be separate from the community while also having like all the benefits of it without any of the inconvenience.
Exactly. Exactly.
Yeah.
It is really a case of, it's kind of crazy. If she had done nothing, she would have been fine. She was being published by Del Rey.
You didn't have to do anything.
You did everything that caused where you are.
You had a 2-book deal.
You had a 2-book, you had a duology as a debut author
Dude.
through Del Rey. All you had to do was sit in your chair and watch Netflix and do nothing.
That's it.
And you would have been fine.
Yeah,
What a shame.
I know.
What a shame.
Here's my conclusion. Maybe you're just an asshole and there is no reason or explanation that excuses that. That's it.
Yeah.
That's what I was left with.
Some people are just assholes.
Anyway, that is my deep dive. That is my girlfriend explaining of Cait Corrain when
Wow.
authors burn their own books.
And boy, did she burn.
Wow.
Boy, did she burn.
Yeah.
Gosh. Well, what a great explanation, Lindsay.
Thank you.
Thank you for taking me down
I'm happy to be
that
here.
little trail. That was
Thank you.
that was crazy. It is so unbelievable how many times people just get in their own way for no reason.
It's almost sad. If it weren't so infuriating, it would be sad.
It's Shakespearean at a certain point.
It's Greek.
It's Greek.
It's a Greek
One
tragedy.
could say it's Greek.
Yeah. Anyway, we really want to give a shout out to you for clicking on this video and spending time with us. Of all the channels in the entire world, you chose to click on our channel today and spend some time with us. And I'm honored and I'm so happy about it. And a special shout out to our coffee members. We have a couple new ones this week, which is very exciting. Whose generous support is the reason that we're able to sit here and do this.
Yes. Thank you so much to our coffee members.
Yeah, we
the
love
reason
you.
we were able to keep doing this.
Yeah,
and
those are
it
my
gives-
kissing sounds if that wasn't clear.
It gives us so much encouragement. And if you like this video, like. And if you want to keep watching videos like this, subscribe. A lot of you are not subscribed. I'm going to put up a graphic about how many of you are not subscribed. We post every week. Every Wednesday is what we try to do.
Yes.
And we've got some additional stuff over on Coffee if you want some extras.
Yes, we post mini episodes over there if you're interested. And if you feel like supporting the channel, buying Connor and I a coffee or a tea, we'd really appreciate it. Of course, I also mentioned that topic suggestion box in the description. That is there for you. There's also some show notes and all the credit. I'm going to put all of the books that got slandered in this
Oh,
book
yes.
bombing down in the description. So if any of them sound interesting to you, you can click them and support them and try to undo some of the evil doing that Cait Corrain did.
Absolutely. Yeah. Shout out to those authors. Hope they're doing well.
Yeah. And shout out to Sharon J. Zhao.
Yes. Big shout
I
out.
I am here for the hunger for justice. I relate to it so much, and I think we would be friends.
It sounds like it. I think you guys would have a lot to talk about.
We could open a law firm, actually.
I think so.
Sharon J. Zhao and Lindsey Beth Myers.
Yeah.
Ooh, there's nothing we can't do.
Zhao and Myers PI.
Zhao and Myers. Oh, that sounds good.
Yeah.
I'm going to pitch it.
Well, thank you so much for joining us, and we'll see you next week.
And I'll see you in 2 seconds.